Good morning, you guys. I'm so glad you're here. Welcome to Let's Talk Stroke. I am your host and stroke survivor, Jerry Wall. For those of you that are new, I started this show just to bring awareness to stroke, TBI, aphasia, really brain injury, and also to provide a platform for survivors to tell their stories and tell us how they're doing and what they can do for all of us, inspire us, and also to bring on brain experts in brain health so they can share knowledge with us. Good morning, Marina. Nice to see you. So why don't we go ahead and get started? And I do have an amazing guest as usual, uh, Delanie Stephenson, and I think she's coming up on 10 years of her stroke. Good morning, Mike, Dos Megan, Salud. Nice to see you, and Yvonne from Athens, Greece. So let's go ahead and get started. You guys hang tight. Telling me to dance, taking a chance. Good morning. Um, nice to see you. Paul, nice to see you. Ray, yeah, real quick, when you guys please subscribe to my YouTube channel, Let's Talk Stroke. Also, am I too loud? Can you tell me if I'm loud or not? um, let's see. Or is that too loud? Let me know. T, nice to see you. Lynette. Hey, also, I don't know why, but right now it's 21 degrees here. Just thought I'd throw that out there since you asked. Well, actually, no one asked. So anyway, let's. Kimmy, nice to see our beautiful Kimmy. Nice to see you. Let's go ahead and bring on our beautiful Delanie Stephenson. Okay, I'm good. Okay, good. Thank you, Marina. So let's bring her on.
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning, Delanie. So, wow. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay.
you really are you really loud right now?
um, let's see. Oh, yes, Bo is from Norway. I'm so glad to see you here. Jenny, Kimberly, nice to see you guys. I appreciate you all jumping on here. Look at all this. I shouldn't be just staring at the comments, but you know what? Why not? Um, so Delaney, wow. I mean, we've talked many times, been on the show, but you've got. I mean, you've had an article that you did that. Good morning, Aubrey. Sorry. Uh, come, and I think it's pretty awesome. The article, if anybody hasn't seen it, it's on Delaney's. How would I say? Is it on your website? Coming home after a stroke, fantasy or reality? That's pretty awesome. Um,
Yeah, because I don't know about any of the other people that are watching. I know you and I have talked about it. A lot of times when you're in the hospital or therapy, inpatient therapy or whatever, you have this image in your head of what it's gonna be like once you get home. And kind of it's all happy and everything's working the way that it should,
right,
but that wasn't, at least for me, it was not the case. you
right,
know for one reason or another, things didn't work out exactly how I thought it would.
right. Can you tell Aubrey right there is asking now? She wants to find it and read it. It's awesome. So would they just go to your profile page and then see it? Because I can't remember how I
um
found it.
yes, it's on a website called The Mighty that really caters to disabled people. And if you go to my Facebook page, I posted it on there probably a couple days ago, I think.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and I
It,
can repost it. That's not a problem. Or I can message the article to people. But it's basically just saying how I thought life was going to go,
right,
when I got home, but then the reality of how everything's not picture perfect.
right. Um, yeah. Exactly. I mean, what did you think? Like you're gonna, after the stroke and after therapy, I go home and woohoo, I'm brand new. not
And,
you, you know.
right, and I guess that since you don't know anything different, you're expecting life to go back to quote unquote no normal, and then
Right,
whatever you were doing before, you think you're gonna be able to go home and do it again. Like I thought I would. I used to exercise Jillian Michaels, and I was like, oh, I'll get right back into that. I'll go outside, watch my kids, little things around the house like fixing dinner, washing clothes, running the vacuum. I was actually looking forward to that stuff.
right,
Um, but once I got home, I realized I just remember a couple days after I first got and tried to put a fitted sheet on the bed, which is
right,
a task under normal circumstances. But anyways, I tried to put a fitted sheet on the bed, and after I was done, I don't think I got all the way through it. But anyways, I just started so winded, so tired, and I'm like, if I can't even, put a damn sheet on the bed, what is the rest? What is my? Why am I here? What am I doing? How
yeah,
am I to be an ass an asset to my family? And it really
right.
got to me.
Yeah, no, I know that's tough. I just not to jump off here. There's Marcy, nice to see you, and Christy Starr saying hello to you. But yeah, and Yvonne and Marina. I don't know if you can see the comments because you're on your phone. It,
Yeah, they're kind of small, so it's hard to read.
yeah, because Marina's saying I was laughing so hard trying to put that fitted sheet on. I was rolling on the bed from corner to corner. I laughed so
Ah,
hard I couldn't hardly breathe. You know,
hey, at least she was laughing.
yeah, because Barb the other day, can you help me put on the sheet? It's like trying to put it on with on one hand, well, two hands with the one hand trying to really do it. She goes, you know what? Go in the other room. I'll do it because it's
Uh,
gosh,
I mean,
yeah,
I know I was crying out of frustration, but
yeah,
the best thing and whenever you're in those scenarios where you mess up or make a mistake, whatever, just laugh at yourself and realize, okay, nobody's perfect, and I guess move on.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, because you had your stroke about. Good morning, Mike Peters and Jenny. Um, I mean, I still like to read the comments since you can't see them. So tell me if you don't want me to read them. I still can't put a fit. This is from Jenny DeSoto. It says she still can't put a fit sheet on her bed. I end up like a flattened starfish on my bed.
Gosh.
You
And
guys know.
one thing that I learned really, really quickly is that it's okay to ask for help.
Yes.
Um, because before, I was 33 at the time of the stroke. So before I would, do all of these things, working with the kids, for my husband and not think twice about it.
Right.
Just run a household. And so I guess I don't know if it was pride or
Mm.
think, okay, I can do this by myself, just to kind of prove to yourself that you're getting better.
Right.
And but there was, I quickly learned that you have to ask for help a lot.
Right.
I'm
Yeah,
still,
it's okay.
you know, to the
Yeah.
point of annoyment
Wait.
almost. Hey, babe, can you help me with such and such? Hey, babe, I need your hand. Or calling
Yeah.
them on the phone, or hey, honey, I need to do this. And I know it gets annoying for him, for my husband.
No, it's all good. You know what I know? Teresa, do you know Teresa? You probably do out there in the world. We call her T. She said, don't try it with just socks on and a wood floor. Slip and slide.
As that is
Yeah.
correct. That and get up all the rugs.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And I don't know how
'Cause
many times I tripped.
exactly. Um, I'm just reading. I have your article right here in front of me. And, I mean, do you remember every single part of that? It's just amazing because, like you said, it's and everybody probably knows that once you have your brain injury, it affects not only affects us, it affects the entire family.
Yes, it did. My kids, when I had my stroke, y'all, some of y'all have heard this before. They were 4 and 6, so they had a lot of adjustments because they thought whenever mom came home that mom's going to be the same mom she was before. And my son, he had a really hard time because, hey, mom, let's go do this. Mom, let's go do that. And I couldn't, especially there in the beginning. And he'd often refer to me as the old mom versus the new mom. The old
Right,
mom,
right,
I mean, the new mom is not so much fun. I want the old mom back. And like if we had pictures up of me before the stroke in the house, where is she? I want her. I want her. And
yeah.
that is, it just killed me inside, and it got to the point where I took all most of the pictures down of me before the stroke
They
because I
should.
just could not handle the stress of looking at that because it just felt like a totally different person.
Wow, I'd never heard of that before. Taking all the pictures down. Um, I don't, change subject. Marina says, loved your book, Delanie. But yeah, I know what you're saying. I never knew someone ever told me that, unless they just forgot about taking
Yeah, and
pictures.
I'm not saying it's right or it's wrong, but I couldn't deal with that constant reminder of this is who you used to be and these are the things that you used to do. And a lot of those things you for whatever reason cannot do. And so it was getting me really depressed.
Yeah,
So I guess try to that idea of looking forward instead of looking back, that type of thing.
right. Do you still look back now and think, I mean, does that play in your mind all the time, or every once in a while, if you're just sitting there, like there, if what you weren't here, would would that kind of get you?
Yeah, well, I mean, how can you not remember? I mean, it's hard. I always refer to it as BS. I mean, not BS. What is that? Like before, yeah, BS and AS. It literally is BS before stroke, and AS is after stroke.
Right.
And like you said, it's coming up on 10 years, a whole
Yes.
decade, and it's like, wow, that life before stroke. It seems like it was another world, another
Yeah.
realm. And like life actually restarted or rebooted, whenever I came after the stroke. So, not that life before doesn't count or doesn't matter or anything like that, but it was a different Delaney.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, Mike goes making is saying, I use pre-stroke pictures as an inspiration to improve. I love these comments, you guys. These are great. There was another one. Oh, Jenny saying, morning, the old you. Um, me. Yeah. They're so good. Yeah. We do
Yeah,
go through these later, but there's some amazing
my
comments.
sister, who also had the stroke, she had one but a year before me. She often refers to the stroke as like a death in the family. It's not exactly the same. I understand that. But it's like Jenny said, mourning the old person that you used to be. And it takes a while to get always the New Year thing. You hear New Year, New You. But to get used to the new person and how life is going to be
Right.
now and to accept that. It takes it doesn't happen overnight.
Yeah. No, I agree. Mike is. I don't know if you know Mike Peters from the UK. He says, I like the new Delaney.
Well,
Um,
thank you.
yeah, there's some great. I love all these comments here. I'm glad everybody's involved. If any, there's one other thing is Delaney not only had a stroke, her sister. not too long ago, but like a couple of years before or after, or
It was about a year before.
yeah, wow,
Yeah, so I mean, and I've said this before too. I just remember hers was in August 2011. Um, and I remember visiting her in the hospital and seeing her laying in the bed. And at the time, she had two young kids.
yeah,
And how's she going to, you know, raise them? At that point, we didn't know what her outcome was going to be. And I was just like, I am so glad that that's not me laying there, because I don't think that I could go through what she's going through.
right.
And then I just never forget that thought. And then June of the following year, I was right where she was.
Yeah, it's just amazing how that. Maria's asking how your sister is doing. Um,
Well, she lost the use of her left arm that never came back, but she's doing pretty good. She has seizures every once in a while. She actually had a seizure while she was driving last fall, which was scary.
yeah, wow.
Um but her kids are teenagers now, so they are a big, like my kids are, a big help to her. But she has not returned to work. She used to be a teacher also, but she drives with the help of one of the
The ball
thing
thing.
that they put on the steering wheel.
Yeah.
Um she does not use a cane. She
Oh
drags her
wow.
feet a little bit, but it's not bad.
Right.
Um her personality totally changed. Um she used to be the one that was outgoing and like a people person and all that, and right now she's sorry, this is my husband. Right now she's really quiet, and I'm now the one that's outgoing, and I used to be really quiet.
So
It's
really,
like
you
we
don't have.
flip flop, did a Freaky
Yeah.
Friday.
Um, so you have no filter now. No, but um,
You know
Danny's
that.
asking, is she on any, or maybe you, or well, your sister? Is she on anti seizure medication?
Yeah, she's on anti seizure medication, and she's had one, two, three seizures since the stroke, I think. So she has to make sure she's on top of, because it's so easy to forget to take meds, especially if you
Oh,
got a busy lifestyle and kids running around and this, that, and the other. So most of her seizures were because she forgot to take a medication. And with the seizure medication, you miss one, and that's
oh yeah.
not a good thing.
I, that's me. I actually, I consider myself not lately a pro at having seizures.
You need to find something else to be a pro at, Jerry.
I trust me. I agree. Um, this is crazy. These are great comments, you guys. Um, we'll go through 'em. If I know I see both Norway. Some I saw your comment too. Um, three brothers. Um, two of them are you two are stroke survivors. The other one has passed away. Sorry to hear that. But there's it's just crazy. But we'll go through them later and respond to some of them if I haven't highlighted them. But I still want to go back to your article. That's just an amazing article. I mean, usually I don't like to read anymore because of my stroke. I would actually like to read back before that, but now if it's long, I don't want to read it. But yours, it really captured what we go through, all of us, because we can relate. So I hope everybody goes to Delanie's, um, you know, Facebook page and check it out because it's really amazing.
Well, thank you. That's one thing. I always have liked to write, and my dad was when he was alive, he was an English professor, so he had me redoing rough drafts of papers over and over again whenever I was it. Like, I remember in fourth grade and just making me redo them all the time. But anyways, he instilled a love of writing in me. And
Wow.
I know after the stroke that I wanted to read stories about other stroke survivors.
Yeah.
And sometimes you get the people who have like doctorates or doctors,
Yeah.
writing stuff, and then sometimes it just goes whoosh
Yeah.
way over my
Oh, I
head,
know. Yeah.
So
Still
with
does.
the writing, I try to make it relatable, if that makes sense. Um, and as you said, not long, because a lot of us stroke survivors, we can't focus, but for, you know, 2, 3 minutes, and then we gotta go do something else and
Yeah.
come back.
Yeah. Absolutely. I completely understand. Yvonne, do you know Yvonne from Athens, Greece?
I'm not sure. I
Yeah.
might.
She just said her seizures are not for the weak, which I always I always say stroke is not for the weak. Um,
That's right.
Stephen Albright, I'm not. He's asking about the internet. Is it in and out? Mine of yours, but staggered. Ours is good, Stephen. I mean, look at this.
Yeah, I've been really lucky. I don't have any haven't had any seizures, but my son, he makes up for it. He has
Yeah,
grand malls every once in a while and has absence seizures. So
yeah.
I guess God was like, I'm not going to give them to you, but I'll give them to your son, so you get
Uh,
to experience them.
yeah, it's kind of crazy. And is it okay to me to break down? I mean, because Barbara's taking a test right now, up the nose and the thing, because COVID. I mean, that kind of goes rampant, and I think everybody's going to end up getting it. And
I
you,
know, and and we've been good for 2 years, and didn't have anything, and then the son starts coughing. What, last Saturday? Like, oh Lord, here we go. And it went from my son to now my daughter, and then to me, and then now my husband. He just today just started having, running fever last night and all that stuff. But I think everybody is going to
so your whole family has
eventually
it.
catch up with it, no matter how much they try to run from it.
Yeah, you got it from you think your son's friend.
Yes, my son, who is a teenager, he's 14, won't keep that stupid mask up over his nose. He'll put it on his forehead as a joke, but he won't keep it anyway. And that was the friend that he sat next to on the bus came down with it, and whenever I heard that, I just knew it was a
Matter of
matter
time,
of time before my son got it. But what are you
right?
supposed to do? I can't monitor but 14-year-old, but so much anymore.
Right, going on 21 or
He thinks so.
wow, absolutely. Let's see, what else did we miss on your? Oh, good morning, Erica and Lynn. Nice to see you guys. Um, I just look at. I mean, let's see. I'm just kind of maybe it's how. Oh yeah. So tell me about the dream. You said you had some ideas of how life would be when you returned home.
Yeah, I used to, and that was one thing they told me to do, is to try to visualize things that you want to have happen. Visualize yourself talking, visualize yourself walking, visualize yourself at home. And actually, when the very first word that I was able to get my voice was home, and then I said Katie and Alex. And so that to me, since it was the first thing I said, first things I said, that was what was, of course, most important. And every night
Right.
before I go to bed, I remember imagining me sitting on this blue lawn chair in the front yard at home, my kids running on, playing, and my husband doing whatever husbands do outside, tinkering on this and that. And I was like, that's home. That's where I want to be. That's what I want to be doing. And I remember dreaming about that, or visualizing that every night before I went to bed in the acute rehab hospital. And
Right.
then whenever I was released, I couldn't even go to my home. I went to my mother in law's, and we
Yeah.
stayed there gosh, I think for about a good 2 months. Because she was helping watch the kids while my husband went to work. Because we had to keep health insurance, so of course he had. I appreciate everything she did for me. Don't get me wrong, but basically, she did all the cooking. She got the
Yeah.
kids ready for school. She made sure they had their showers. My husband still had to give me a shower in the shower chair. I was
Yeah.
still at that point. And if the kids needed something, they wouldn't come to me
Yeah.
because they knew mom was just gonna be sitting in a chair doing nothing or sleeping or that type of thing. Um but to be in a place where you can't do anything and your kids are relying on somebody else. I mean,
Yeah.
even the fact that that you know my mother-in-law was correcting them and trying to discipline them, which again I knew it needed to be done, but it's like
Still bothers you.
that role of mom was taken away, not
Yeah.
by anybody on purpose,
Right.
but to not fulfill your natural, your natural role. That was very, very difficult.
Exactly. There's let's see here. There's two. Bo says you speak very well now, and then another one. Let's see. No place like home. Erica says there's also okay, yeah. Bo says same with me. Bo. He says when I'm tired, I do speak like a drunk.
Yeah.
Right. And Deborah says how did your stroke happen?
Um, the doctors think it was
Actually,
because of birth control pills that I was taking, and I basically was cleaning out my car and started. I had had a really, really bad ache in the back of my
yeah,
head, which turned out to be the base of my brainstem, for about a week, and got a really, really stiff neck.
yeah,
Um, and I was like, oh, I'll go to the doctor at the end of the week if it's still happening. And as I was cleaning out the car, I started to feel sick to my stomach, and then the tingling had, I think, on my left side, and then I couldn't feel anything. And my husband came home from work and found me slumped over the steering wheel.
yeah,
And I was having a heart attack, and I was sweating like crazy. And by this time, I couldn't really talk, really making sense. And we all packed up in the car and went to the hospital, and that was all she wrote.
yeah. Here you are, 10 years, 10 years later. You're on Let's
Yeah.
Talk Stroke. Kind of crazy. Um, let's see. There was a. Let's see now. We probably covered it, but coming home after a stroke, fantasy or reality. That's just it's a great intro to this the
Yeah,
thingamajig, the
and
story.
something we talked about a lot is the fact that the stroke didn't just happen to me; it happened to my entire family. And that idea of once I got home, I thought, I can just do whatever I want to do. I mean, I'm a grown woman; I can you fix
Right.
me something to eat or whatever. But I had people whenever I did eventually get to come home. When my husband went to work, I still had my mom or my mother-in-law staying with me for at least a good month. Taking me to doctor's appointments or to therapy or
Yeah.
just babysitting me basically felt like, and to
Yeah.
be in your own home and not have that independence as an adult that we all thrive for. Um that was that was another reason why the depression again just kept going on, because it's like, this is my house, I can I can do what I want. But the kids, even at that point, were still going to my mom and my mother-in-law for all their needs, and that really, got me.
Yeah.
That
It's
was
it's
really,
a
really hard.
yeah, and um, we've talked about this a while ago. Um, were you in a you were going to a not a memorial to a funeral?
Oh gosh, I went.
'Cause I haven't. Yeah,
And this was just back in 2020. So I mean, this stupid, and we talked about it before. This PBA,
yeah,
the laughing and crying, intensely at inappropriate times. You know that really that really gets me. I went
yeah,
to a what do you call it, a funeral for a friend who had passed, and um my sister was sitting right beside me. She was a mutual friend, and she said something right at the start of the service. It just tickled me. I don't remember what it was. It
right.
doesn't take much, but I just started laughing. I was like, I mean, like uncontrollable, loud laughing. And I was like, I cannot stay in here and laugh during a funeral service. That's just wrong. So I got up and tried to shift out of the seats, and I was laughing so much I couldn't stand up straight. It was just getting worse and worse. So finally, I was able to finally make it outside, pull myself together a little bit, and it was cold, and it was like February, I think, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna try to pull myself together and go back inside, and then I went to go open the door, and the door was locked. So I couldn't get back in the church, and I had left right at the beginning of the service, so I knew it was going to be a long wait. But I tried to get in my mom's car; she had driven us there, and it was locked. So I was like
Now what? Right?
freezing. At least I found a place to sit. They had a little bench out there, but I was like, this is
Yeah,
ridiculous.
completely understand. I mean, because that's what I think. I just they uh, PBA. I don't know really pseudo whatever, but I just think
Just call it PBA.
yeah, that's what I usually like. I'm looking at them here. Uh, T says it happens, and Mike says I have been to more funerals since my stroke than before it in my life. Yeah, and both says me too. Laugh all of a sudden. I know it's
Yeah,
getting
and I have
better.
another story. And
No,
this was probably a year or two after the stroke. I went to a church service, and something the preacher said, I don't remember. I just started laughing, like laughing so hard I was crying.
yeah,
And the preacher after the service, he came up to me and was like, I'm so glad that you were filled with the Spirit today. Whatever he was talking, he thought that I was like having a moment with God or something, which is not bad, but I'm just.
yeah.
I told my husband on the way home, I have no idea what that guy was talking about. I was just laughing.
Did you tell him what happened? Why you just blew it off?
I was just, oh my Lord.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy how stroke, brain injury, what that does to us. I mean, I see
Yes,
everybody. Yeah,
yes, and stroke is the gift that keeps on giving. 10 years later, we're still, affected by it one way or the other. And I know we've talked a lot about relationships
hmm
after stroke. I know my husband and I are actually closer now than we were before. At the time, we had been married for 11 years when I had the stroke. And then now it's we just celebrated our 20th back in November last year. And communication, and all these things that we as stroke survivors feel, it's just so important that we let our whoever we live with, or let somebody know how you're feeling or why you're feeling that way, because
right,
they don't know what's going on in our minds,
right,
you know, as crazy as we crazy as we are, but we have to, communicate, well, I'm feeling this way because, or I'm doing this because. I will say my husband and I communicate a lot more than we used to.
right. Absolutely. Yeah, same here. But this is so Jenny saying, "Don't look how far we gotta go. Look how far we've come." I'm like,
Very, very important.
yeah, I know. I know that's
Very.
important.
Yeah, I was
Yeah,
looking at a picture. I was for something else for that they wanted me to send a picture of me on the ventilator in the hospital bed like the day after my stroke or whatever. And when I and my husband often does ask me, "Why do you keep that picture? What are you doing looking at that and stuff?" And like Jenny said, you look how far you've come. Because I mean, look where you were. You couldn't breathe, couldn't talk, couldn't move, trapped in your own body. And look where we are now. You know,
yeah,
life is not maybe as we thought it would be, but in some ways it's better. If that makes sense.
yeah, it does. Because I know the first 4 years I was completely lost. Completely lost, and then found this thing, and I feel, wish I got paid, but doing this, it's really inspiring to see other stories, and like I don't know if it was Eric or somebody says, I don't know who it was, sorry, whoever, um, don't compare yourself to anyone. And that's why, and it's so true because I've seen these every story. They're all different. Um, Mike says yes, Delanie. Yvonne says that exactly, and Bo is saying I understand.
Yeah, I mean that's a really big thing is not to compare yourself because
Right.
I mean my sister and I are perfect examples. She had her stroke at 29. I had mine at 33. Hers was because of a surgery that had gone bad. Mine was
Yeah.
because of the birth control pills. She received so care at as therapy and all that is concerned. I received like the best. I mean, they were awesome. And her outcome versus my outcome, you know, she lost the use of her arm. I just walk with a
Yeah.
cane. And then everybody else you got to look at the physical shape that people are in, the age they are when they have the stroke, how much support they do or don't have from their family, what the therapy is like, what do they have to come home to, there's all these circumstances. So don't compare, like you said, one to the other because
Right.
it's where you had your stroke and your brain that can make a big difference too.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Wow. Yeah, this is
Yeah, I
just
see somebody saying don't compete. Yeah, this is not a competition. Just because, I can walk and you can't. That's not a, we're not in life to compete. We're in life to be here, to have a purpose.
right,
And,
right.
I mean, if you're here, there's a reason, no matter what shape you're in.
Exactly. Uh-huh. It's right. I know Mike Dose Megan, every stroke is different. Absolutely. I mean, Delaney, so you're just walking with, not just, because I totally understand. I mean, you're walking with a cane when you're outside going somewhere.
Yeah, whenever I go out, my husband always makes sure I have my cane with me because usually when I don't, if I don't take it, that's when I have the oopsies, face plants and all that stuff. Um, but this part of the stroke happened in the cerebellum, so my balance is kind of wonky. I can get around in the house without it, no problem. But my, my husband can literally hear me coming because my foot drags on the carpet. He's like,
Yeah,
"You please shut up." He finds
yeah.
out it's happening annoying. I'm like, "I can't. I'm just walking the way I know how to walk, babe."
I understand. So true. You know, I still can't. I'm looking at Salu's message about. She says that don't compare yourself to Tom, her, um, Tom,
Hmm.
who passed away. She had him repeating the day those poems, repeating 13 words. I still can't do that. I'm not comparing. I just, I don't know if I'm lazy or not, but that's, you know, um,
Well, I
um,
mean, some people can get stuff back really
yeah.
quickly, and some people, I mean, there are still people that are locked in and
Oh yeah.
still, in a facility or at home, but they spend all day in bed. So, I mean, because they literally can't move or whatever. I mean,
Yeah.
and even that, I mean, the fact that they're just here, that is something in and of itself.
Oh, absolutely. It's amazing. I don't know if you remember, I had Kathy Vanderhoven from oh, um, Scotland or I don't know, Salute Figure, tell me. And she's completely locked in. She communicates with her eyes. And she had her stroke, I don't know how many years ago, 20 years ago or so. And locked, locked, that's truly locked in syndrome, which is,
Yeah, I was
you
just
know,
locked in for 6 weeks, and that
yeah,
was
I remember that.
more than enough. For me, I mean, I can't imagine years,
Right, exactly. With no improvement.
but still, I mean, people with technology these days, I mean,
Yeah,
you
uh,
know,
you're
people
right.
can still live a pretty good. I mean, I'm not saying,
Yeah, quality life
what I'm saying,
today.
a quality, of life and still do things.
Absolutely. Now, have you had any falls? Just let me comment.
Um, I was just talking to you about that earlier. I
Yeah,
fall probably on average at least once every 3 months.
yeah,
I've been very lucky and I've had no sprains or breaks or
yeah.
anything. But
Congratulations.
I've sprained my left ankle. I broke my right ankle. I dislocated my shoulder and I had shoulder replacement surgery. And because of the damn stroke, I went and got therapy done. And they said because of the stroke, it wasn't sending signals to my muscles or
Really?
nerves or something in my shoulder. And therapy wouldn't work. So now I have less movement in my shoulder than I did before the surgery.
Oh, wow. So, do you have
So,
any subluxation?
what was that?
Any subluxation?
What the
You,
heck? You're using big words. What's that?
well, my shoulder kind of, if I just don't have it propped up, you could feel it's out of its socket kind of thing.
Yeah, that's probably why. See, I didn't know what the word was for that, Jerry. You're being real
Look at
smart
I
on me
taught you
today.
something.
Yeah, that's why I do always have a pillow or something prop it up.
Yes, yes. Okay, she's from Finland. Yvonne says. Okay. Um, yeah, it's amazing. Yeah, I've had my share of falls and broke my hip, so you know that
Yeah,
was the
you
worst
trying to
one.
outdo me breaking
Yeah,
your
I know.
hip.
Come on, you got to catch up.
No, 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 no.
Yeah,
Knock on
no, don't.
wood.
I don't wish that on anybody. Those falls, I mean, they're almost like slow motion,
Yeah.
right?
And then whenever you hit and you don't break anything, you're like, I just started giggling because I'm like so happy. I'm like, and my husband's like, "Are you okay? Are you okay?" And my kids are freaking out, and I'm
Right.
just so happy I didn't break anything.
Exactly. Exactly. Okay, yeah. So Yvonne says she had a broken arm shoulder fracture. Yeah, and Jenny, falls scare the crap out of me. Not being able to get up. Uh, Get exactly. As long if I fall, I've got to be near a like an ottoman or a couch or something so I can hobble myself up. But and you don't wear an AFO, is that right?
I don't wear that. I did like right afterwards, but I guess I graduated
Yeah,
from
good for
not
you.
having one after therapy.
Right. Gosh, good for you. But so what would you tell what would you tell anybody that's like I mean I see some people that are then down and out and they just feel so yeah sorry to hear that. But I think I knew that she said she fell Sunday. Um, uh,
Well, first thing is first. It's okay to have a down moment.
yeah,
I mean, we all. I don't care. Life is not perfect, and it's to feel depressed or down or sad. But the important thing is just don't stay there. I was actually talking to a stroke survivor friend on Facebook Messenger the other night, and she was having a really hard time finding
mm,
something in her life that it's positive about stuff. She's having a hard time with things, but she was like, "What do you do, Delaney, whenever you are?" um, struggling. And I said,
Sure.
honestly, I look at my family, my kids, they keep me on my toes. They I put my focus into them.
Yes.
And then that allows me to get my mindset, off of the negative things. And I was like, what makes you happy in your life? And she said, my dog. And I said, well, then whenever you're having a rough time, get your dog, cuddle up with your dog, love on your dog, and that hopefully will bring,
That's nice.
kind of bring you to a place of I've got this dog, I love this dog. This dog
True.
means so much to me. And whatever it is in life, whether it's a pet or a friend or family member or hobby, or there's got to be something in your life that brings you joy. And whenever you're having a down day, that's what you need to focus on, is something that makes you smile.
Exactly. I just want to bring this up because when you were saying exactly what you're saying, Lynette Price, you have the right to get down because life will get you down, but you don't have the right to stay
Yep.
down.
I promise you that everybody that we all have our different stroke stories, or their different stroke journeys. And I know that a
Yeah,
lot of us have struggled, some more than others. And but there is somebody out there in this world that has it way worse than
absolutely.
you, you know. So, be thankful, focus on what you have, not what you don't.
Mm, exactly.
I mean, and I'm saying this to myself too, because I'm not like I've got a perfect life, and I'm telling y'all what my blame me. I'm crazy. Don't not. My world is not perfect, but I'm just, and it's a reminder for me too, because a lot of times we get focused on the negative and we stay in the
Right,
negative. It's easier because it takes a little bit of work to try to find something that brings you joy.
right.
But I
Exactly.
promise it's there for everybody.
Right. Exactly. So, I appreciate all these comments. Holy smokes, these really responding to you and what you're saying. I mean, this is pretty awesome. I love it. I just really that's what makes this whole thing to interact with everybody. So you know, um, I
I
live in
wish
the
the
city. You guys
comments
make
are
me feel.
small. I'll have to go back and read them. I'm
Yeah,
sorry if I'm not responding to
yeah,
anybody. Mm.
right. Well, Marina's saying I'm still looking for a husband.
She's still looking for a husband. Find you a country boy. Find a boy that comes from a small town that has simple roots, and find somebody that makes you laugh.
Wow,
That's always
beautiful.
important.
That's true. So
Your
true.
wife lucked out, Jerry.
She did.
I
She did.
bet
Think
you make
about it.
her
No,
laugh all
she's
the
a.
time.
Oh yeah. I lucked out. I
Oh,
mean, she with me how many years? My gosh, coming up on. I should remember this. 39 years married.
wow.
Yeah, 38, 39, something like that. After a while, it's
It's been a long
like,
time, anyways.
yeah, exactly. Wow. Okay, so Marina does say, I do want a country boys. I always have. This is great. Jerry, yeah, Saluja says Jerry Wald lucked out. I did. My lady friend found me after she read my book, Mike Goes Megan. Nice. Oh, and I have to turn around, but your book. Do you have a copy of your book there? No.
No, I don't have a copy of my book. I'm sorry.
Oh, I do.
I
I
should, but
do
I
have it.
don't.
Yeah, I have it, and brought it out. I'm gonna stand up here. Oh, here's one of them here, which is one of the. I love this one. Someone mentioned it too. Mom had a stroke.
Yeah, that's one of my books I wrote. And I know that he's mentioned this before. I wrote one book called calm before the storm, and
Yes, I
that's
have that.
like my
I have
stroke
that too.
journey, what I went
Yeah,
through. And the one he just held up, mom had is more about how the stroke was from my daughter's perspective, and some of the
yeah.
things that she went through watching me have the stroke.
Great job on it too. I mean, it's really an awesome book. And I also see my friend Aubrey here says she after her she had a stroke and a TBI, and she met her wife after her injury, which is really cool. I hear those stories, and it's awesome. Um, just amazing. Okay, I'm reading these. Sorry, I won't read anymore. We can go through afterwards. But wow. So Delaney, any last words for this? Yeah, I really appreciate you coming on and sharing. The really thing is the article I really love. I mean, if everybody can figure out where that article is, Delaney Stephenson, look at her page, profile
Well, they
page.
can look at my Facebook page, and if anybody wants me to message it to them, I'd be happy to do that as well.
Yeah, it's powerful.
And I just encourage. I really find. I mean, if it wasn't for Facebook and
Yeah.
just social media in general,
Hmm.
and finding other people like me, like me met you, Jerry, and met Jenny, and a whole bunch of other people.
Right.
It's hard a lot of times whenever you think I'm going through this all by myself, but you're not. There is somebody out there, I bet you, that has a story not the
Yeah.
same and maybe similar as yours, because like I know I've known Jenny for a while, and she's got a daughter that's about the same age as my son, so sometimes we talk, back and forth about what it's
Sure.
like, with our kids, teenagers going through all this, and then their moms having the stroke and everything. But there's reach out on Facebook and or whatever social platforms you're on, because a lot of these stroke support groups, because a lot of us we can't get out to to
Right.
physically see people, especially in this world that we're in right now. Um, but reach out and find somebody that you can talk to. Even if it's
Exactly.
just a message every once in a while. Talking
Yeah.
with others, it really does help.
Absolutely. And Aubrey saying, Aubrey, I saw somewhere your comment about, yeah, she needs to find your book, and they're on Amazon. At least that's where I
Yeah.
bought them on Amazon. You can just type in Delaney Stevenson.
Yeah, you just type in my name and it'll bring, because there's not many Delanie Stephensons out there. I promise you that.
But
But
and
that
the
it
killer,
should bring up
yeah,
the books,
it
both of
did.
them.
It did bring them up. Like that's how I originally bought them. And what was I going to say? It's just a very inspirational, especially, I mean, not especially, but the one with the kids. Because the kids tug at our hearts. And
Oh yes, very much so. I'll never forget the first time I had been in the hospital, I think for about 2 weeks, and I hadn't seen them for 2 weeks, and that was the longest I'd been away from them.
yeah,
And I remember it was a Saturday. I'll never forget. They came in, they looked at me, and my son just crawled up in bed and gave me a hug. And he went to sleep. He took a nap. He was laying beside his mama. I mean, and then
yeah,
my daughter, she was just, just and she became my little nurse once I get home. So those kids, they are resilient.
very,
they will, come back, and they take care of their parents. They know when they're loved.
yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Um, oh, okay. So Lou just put your the link for themighty.com,
And
which
that's
is
a really good website. It's for people. It talks about mental illness, people with cancer, people with all strokes, all sorts of fibromyalgia. I mean, I'm just thinking of stuff that I've seen, people with different ailments and maladies, and they have people with these illnesses write stories about, life with whatever
right.
medical issue they have. And I
Yeah,
highly recommend that that website because you can put in whatever topic you're looking for, and it'll bring up a ton of first
Uh,
person articles
uh,
about that situation. And that's where I put a lot of allow a lot of my articles got published in there.
wow,
It's a really good place to look for inspiration.
that's great. That's great because let's see, Yvonne says, "How funny! I have a aphasia group on Mighty.com."
Yep, yep.
Thank you for putting this on here. Yeah, that is amazing. Thanks. So, well, gosh, that's awesome, you guys. Really appreciate it. And Delanie, as always, I appreciate you here and always.
Well, I appreciate you asking me to be here, and I always have. I'm very joyful when I'm talking to you, so
Same
not
here.
a
Same here.
problem, dude.
Uh, awesome. Well, guys, we'll see you guys later and have a great rest of your day. Let's just do this last little 2 cents everything I hear, and then I'll